Paul Adefarasin, the man that caught the anger of so many younger people, especially the obedient, in the 2023 elections, when he said God told him that Saul will come before Paul, Paul will come before Saul, meaning Tifnumbu will come first. Deal with all of now, then your Paul, which will come and save you, will come later. A lot of people quickly believed that he's got, corn in his pocket. However, the second time he also made it to the social media viral, right, was when he pulled out what looked like a Glock on a street vendor, street beggar that got caught on camera, to which he said it wasn't gone. So this time around, he's addressing his own congregation, telling them different things from what we have been hearing before. This time he was actually like telling them the reality, letting the church know that there is a jihad, and jihad means war for these fanatics, the extremists. And there's no point in glossing over it. There's no point in trying to change the narrative when everybody knows that we are all in danger if we are being honest. So the man on the Glock, right, on Sunday, delivered a speech, detailed, long, and that is where we're going to start from this evening, among many other things that I have brought to you this evening. So please, share the broadcast, subscribe to my channel, and to my friends on Facebook. I am going to shut down, Maiyegun's Diary Facebook in the coming days, and I'm going to open another one. And I hope that one won't be a shadow banned like this other one, okay? Which means the message can still get to the right audience. But for those of you watching on Facebook, remember, YouTube can still share if Facebook allows you to, okay? So, Pastor Paul Adefarasin discussing the state of security of Nigeria. And to me, being as sincere and honest as he could be, because at the end of the day, he told his own congregation that, listen, apart from being so very vigilant, observant, self-aware, and all of that around you, be security conscious. Don't stop at that. You should hold your leaders accountable. You have to hold them accountable. You have to hold them in their, whatever you can, like to make sure that they do their job, including himself as their shepherd. Let's start with that. Like I said, it's actually a very long one, okay? But sit back, relax, and watch.
I certainly hope that Nigeria doesn't have to go to war. It's a nice way to greet the church, huh? I certainly hope we don't have to. But I'm ready for it. Can't discuss those things because there's still dialogue going on, and it's two civilizations globally fighting. Nigeria is just one of the fronts. That's important to understand. And I hope that the dialogue works to expunge terrorism from Nigeria perpetually. And it's going to take a lot of brain, battle brawn, and some brilliance in negotiation. But I really don't believe that you negotiate with terrorists. I think that you have to strategically be quiet whilst you prosecute your strategy. And everybody needs to be thinking. In World War, whose battle theater was the United States, and it was the biggest single onslaught in the Western Hemisphere, 9/11. America was not going to have the theater of war stay in the United States or in the North Americas. So the battle of terror moved to Europe, smaller skirmishes, France, the European continent itself, and they said, we don't want the terror on our shores either. Where do you think the terror went to? Africa. And that really pulverized Libya. And then Africa became, from the Maghreb, Sahel, including northern Nigeria, it became awash with weapons beyond AK-47s and M4s, rocket launchers, grenades. I hear they're equipping with drones. Now, we are Western civilization. That is Occidental civilization. The terrorists come from Oriental civilization. The two have never really had an opportunity to match or mix. When people believe that they will get 72 virgins for killing you and me, that's a serious ideology. That's very serious ideology. And it's written in the book that they believe in the most. Other Muslims who are mild or moderate, they don't subscribe to that. They don't believe in killing others in order to advance their religion. However, some seeming moderates under the cover of taqiyya, and taqiyya is an important word for you to understand. They occupy significant positions in various authority positions in culture, in the markets, and in the public sector. That's why it's so enlivened, but it is much bigger than Nigeria and Nigerian leadership. It's financed and funded globally by people who the West is friends with. So there needs to be a proper education. Write this down. In the future, there will be a war if the intelligentsia of Nigeria, meaning sophisticated strategic minds across the spectrum of nationalities or ethnicities in Nigeria, don't get together to plan, to understand, to plan, and to deal with this thing once and for all time. That's absolutely necessary. And you want to start attuning your mind to that. Some years ago, I gave you a plan A, what a leader at the federal, subnational, or sub-regional, the state, and the ward should look like. There were 10 points. And I said, if that fails to happen, you will need your plan B. Families call me from Canada, from around the world to say thank you. I couldn't afford to give my children an education in today's Nigeria. Nigeria wasn't working for our pay packet. And they're glad for that. And I said, will you come home if we fix it? By the way, I'm still here. Will you come home if we fix it? Of course, we want to come home. As soon as the children are grown, it's time to come home. And don't let them stay there too long. Remind them that their El Dorado is here. There are many non-indigenous Nigerians prosecuting war against us. It's a Hydra head. We understand that. It's blazing trails to create pathways for more non-indigenous to come. Those are all guns for hire, and so they're entrepreneurial. They will do kidnapping, ransom money, and all the rest of that. They do all that. Then they also become thugs, platoons and the likes, companies, sometimes even up to the level of brigades, for those who are extracting precious metal, gemstones, and the likes from the earth. Cattle have been the transportation for gold in Nigeria for over 25 years. Quietly, certain families from that region have been doing that. It has now become quite a popular business, and normally governors in that region grab a hold of it because they have authority. We have a battle to fight. And then there is a prosecution of a battle to exterminate indigenous people from their ancestral land in the Middle Belt and beyond the Middle Belt in parts of northeast Nigeria. And that's important for everybody to know. And they have a plan according to Kloruko Lisawa, Ganiu, what's his title? Ganiu, who's the field marshal of Yoruba armies, Ganiu Adams, he intimated yesterday there are 5 Yoruba states that they're planning to come to next. I don't mean to alarm you. It means your weapons not being natural, you have to engage them. You have to be wise, and you have to agitate with your leaders everywhere you find them. That includes me, so that we take our responsibility. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I incidentally went to a secondary school called the Imperial Service College, the Haileybury and Imperial Service College, where they taught you how to plan for empire, expand it, consolidate it. We pray that we will find allies quickly, and that there'll be no false allies in our negotiating teams. So a lot of fifth columnists. I wish I could tell you the most important one in government, but I'll reserve that. I too want to live long. We greet you in Jesus.
Everyone is being careful. Nigeria has become so dangerous, right, that those who know the truth are scared of saying the truth. And then you have and then that gives room to the conspiracy theorists, theorists, rather. Yeah, the effects of the advancing jihadists in Nigeria, even though if some people are going to keep trying to, colorize it, tribalize it, and the rest of that. The thing is that those who argued that the destruction is beyond just religion, they are not wrong. Those who argue that there is a Christian genocide going on in Nigeria, they are very right. Among the atrocities going on in Nigeria, it is the complicit or the culpability of those in government, which he referred to as the fifth columnist. In Nigeria today, right, as much as the terrorists are using their jihadi advancement and all of that to advance in Nigeria, as well as their sponsor. So we also have it on record that most of the communities that they have destroyed, displaced the people, most of these communities have become mining fields, like minefields, where precious, earth materials minerals rather, are being extracted from Nigeria. Do you know that from investigation, they said that there is over 120 private airfields in Nigeria, in northern Nigeria alone. Just think about that. And you may think, oh, that's ridiculous, that's exaggerated. Well, until you come around and realize that more than 2,000 communities have been destroyed, displaced. And then there is another, like, more than 5,000 more that are scattered all over different local government areas in northern Nigeria that are currently called ungoverned areas. In Borno State, out of 27 local governments or so, right, only about 3 local governments are free of these terrorists. The rest fully controlled by these terrorists, but they're not telling you. In Sokoto State, out of their own maybe 27, 28 local government areas or so, right, more than a 2/3 of them too, because the governor said it, more than 2/3 is currently occupied by these terrorists, various terrorists. What are they gaining? What are they getting? Killing people and chasing them away that like they have been doing. What else are they taking? What else is the drive, the motive? When people say, how are they funding their terrorism? It's established that the ransoms that they collect from Nigerians runs into, billions of dollars annually. When converted, we are talking about trillions of naira being paid by Nigerians and government of Nigeria as ransom to these terrorists. But that is not enough to probably fund it with what we have witnessed so far. So we believed, and the government of Nigeria knows. They also know the politics. You see, me, I'm not in the security, what have you, but I can give you two names that if they point gun to my head, I will still tell them these two names. They are from Zamfara, and they are the former governors of Zamfara. The first one is Yari. The second one is Matawali. These two, they are like publicly acknowledged terror sponsor sympathizers. There are those who rolled red carpet for terrorists inside government house in Zamfara, all because the deal, especially that Patawale, he made a deal where the terrorists, once they extract all this gold, they bring them to him, right? For keep. So now today, that Patawale is now the Minister of Defense State, right, in Nigeria. The one that Tinubu believes that is a very good negotiator with terrorists. Yari flies private jets from the poorest state in Nigeria, Zamfara. It's not because of money he took from Zamfara. It is because of the lives and the blood of Zamfarans that they sacrificed to access all those resources that they are lifting out of Nigeria from those private airfields. Government of Nigeria can't deny that. They don't know that. They can't. The thing is, if they begin to go after this terror sponsor in part, governor, former generals, former National Assembly member, current National Assembly members, current generals, all of when they begin to go after them, Baba, it go be like say, the whole world want to end. Because when you begin to see the list and the faces and what these guys have done, the lives they have taken, and how much they walk so freely in the society, and they are still accorded so much respect. Criminals, but your government knows them. So Adefarasin was trying to tell, he didn't want to say it openly and say, arm yourself, protect yourself, blah, blah, blah. He said, be wise. At least a lot of you are hearing what is going on. The most important thing in this life at this point is to be self-aware. Don't be so self-absorbed, stupid enough that you can't sense danger around you when you should. When a lot of us are beginning to be that kind of like, self-aware and the rest of that, right? There is a chance that a lot of lives will be saved. Or when people pretend or live in denial, like pretending that maybe it's just been exaggerated, maybe it's not that bad, and they get caught in the midst of it. You see, ignorance these days is by choice, by the way. You remember, if anybody in this day and time that you have the internet, you have the social media, you have a lot of resources at your disposal to access every information that you are doubtful of. So if somebody comes and show you this their propaganda, their spin, and you are too lazy to find out yourself, it is your own choice. That is yourself. You have yourself to blame for that. Not those who are paid to lie to you, to tell you that everything is fine until you find yourself in the captivity of this terrorist. And then it will be done on you. Say, oh my God, I've been hearing about it, but I thought they said, no. So Christians, most Nigerians generally, right? I am not going to pretend that the government of Nigeria has managed to disarm you enough that a lot of you are just waiting, like the cow being taken to the slaughter, waiting for the day, right? But nevertheless, you can outsmart them enough that, what you know, you share, self-aware, enough that at least if people are prepared, not like they're nonchalant about it and the rest, right? Lives could be saved. Because what is going on in Nigeria right now is actually worse than war. Economically, what do you call it? In your defense, everything. They've exposed Nigeria so much that, Baba, because of these terrorists, Nigeria is shutting down schools. Federal government shut down schools. State government shut down schools. They call it preventive measures. What does that mean? It simply means that they do not have the resources to keep everybody safe. And they don't want to keep looking bad. So they cut down their shame and stylishly succumb to the wish of this terrorist, who ordinarily said, Boko Haram anyway, that Western education is sane. So shutting down school, whose kind of like wish do you think the government is fulfilling? That of the terrorist. They usually say that there is no force greater than the force of the government in his own country. But when you have another force from the non-state actors, so strong enough that government will make decisions based on the threat of these guys. Not go after them, or call it preventive measures. Why they continue to negotiate with these terrorists. And they're lying to the people. Yeah, that they are doing it in your own interest. So, Adefarasin. But there is more, by the way. So we heard the news of, we've actually seen the video of the 38 people, including children, kidnapped in Eruku. Remember? At that CAC church in Eruku. But the questions people are asking is that were they rescued or was ransom paid?